Hey folks, quick disclaimer about Greasy Says, my new show about being a game developer for 15 years who's brown. Okay? Greasy Says contains explicit language, adult situations, and viewer discretion is strongly advised. Right? Greasy Says is supposed to be a comedic take on what it's like to be in the gaming industry from my perspective, but I'm not out here trying to make people feel uncomfortable just for the sake of it. So, to sum it up, I have a potty mouth. Don't let your kids listen to this shit. And kings and queens above 18 only. Let's try that. All right? Lay is...
Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the professional.
Greasy says.
Oh, man. Wow. Just finished rocking out to this track by a homie of mine, High Fruit Music. Shout out to High Fruit Music. The song they made called Kumar. Yeah, paying homage, I guess, to the homie, to the real homie. Gone too soon. You know what I mean? Or, gone right when they needed to go, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm personally... All right, I'm going to start on a bummer tip, I guess. Personally, I don't know. Is dying... When you die, right? When you die, is it really such a bad thing? Like, people always say gone too soon or whatever. But suppose... All right, I have this theory that, like, you die when you've done enough of the shit you needed to do. If that makes any sense. Like, what you like you touched enough people, you did enough good, you did enough wild shit, you lived your life, you did enough bad, whatever. You filled up your meter. You filled up your life meter, experience meter. And then, like, boom, permadeath. Right? That's how I think. So, like, when you live a long time, like, you live it for fucking 100 years, is because you didn't do that thing you were supposed to do yet to check out. I know it's a weird concept, right? But I'm sure I'm not the first one to think of it. Yeah, shout out to the homie. And shout out to High Fruit Music for making some dope fucking techno dance? I don't know what you call it. It's all EDM, right? Or is it? I don't know if you're a purist. It's probably some fucking obscure word. I don't know. You know what I mean? Music purists, man. Music purists. All kinds of purists, right? Like, nobody should be pure. You shouldn't be a game purist. You shouldn't be a PC master race purist. It's just stupid, right? Like, yeah, it's just dumb. Any sort of elitism is like, what, you can have high standards, but so I have this theory. It's a half-baked theory about what's happening in the game industry right now. A lot of studios are laying people off. Teams are getting a lot smaller. Basically the industry is turning over in its bed, readjusting. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of people out there without jobs who are either going to switch careers, right? Maybe they go into animation, maybe they go into movies, maybe they go into, I don't know, the music industry, maybe they go into AI, even though that's taking a big hit right now too. Yeah, there's going to be a big readjustment. But I kind of wonder if, I'm sure I'm not the first person to talk about this, and probably not the first time in video game history, but like AAA, I think a few people, like somebody from Microsoft maybe, saying that AAA is kind of over. I've been saying that for a minute. Like, AAA is unsustainable. Even for the biggest studios, AAA is unsustainable. Unless you have a smash hit that you can keep lucrative for a long, long period of time, which only a few studios really can do. Or you have rabid fan bases like Madden or Call of Duty, where it's like, even the most non-gamer, you know what I mean? The most non-hardcore gamer the people who, you know, go to see Harry Potter and watch Monday Night Football, those motherfuckers gonna buy every Madden. Those motherfuckers gonna buy every Call of Duty. But if you at all niche, if you try to do anything niche as a AAA studio, you rolling the dice on your existence. Because I mean, like, there's an expectation with AAA in terms of quality, which most of the time does not get hit. You know, you get half-released fucking pieces of shit that were rushed and are buggy as fuck and take like 2-3 years to actually patch into some form of a good game. Cyberpunk. Excuse me. But yeah, and the marketing that you have to put behind it, it's like, it's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. But you have games that are coming out of left field, like one I'm replaying right now, Sons of the Forest. I'm replaying that. Finally came out with version 1.0. And these games aren't AAA games. But, you know, they're almost better. You know what I mean? Like, the jank in Sons of the Forest is very similar to the jank in your, or maybe even more acceptable than the jank in your Assassin's Creed game. You know what I mean? Or your Skull and Bones pirate game or whatever. But it costs a fraction of the budget to make. And probably had very small marketing budget. And I've said this before, and if you don't know by now, you should know, that marketing budgets are often just as much, if not more likely, more than the budget for the whole game. That's what costs you all the money with AAA, is marketing the shit, because you got to sell it. So you blow all this money on marketing, you barely make that shit back with sales. Unless, you know, you're GTA. Then you make way more than your marketing budget. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't even know what GTA's marketing budget is. Definitely in the millions. Millions upon maybe tens of millions. Over many years? Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, AAA, man. You know, it's almost a pointless phrase now, AAA. Because what does AAA even mean, right? Traditionally, AAA is like the best graphics. Really, the best models, the best environments, the best animation. Graphics. That's what AAA usually meant. Gameplay? I mean, most people don't associate great gameplay with AAA, unfortunately. Like, Mario is a AAA game, but if somebody brought up Mario and fucking Call of Duty in the same sentence, there would be some disagreement among most people about which one of those is the more AAA title. People probably would say COD, right? But why? COD graphically is impressive, right? They got super realistic graphics or whatever. But in terms of gameplay, COD ain't shit compared to fucking Mario. Like, you're a camera with a gun, and it's all bells and whistles from there. You know what I mean? But Mario is like, that's real gameplay. You gotta make a 3D character, run around, jump, backflip. Controls gotta be sick. Camera gotta be on point. It's way more of an undertaking than COD ever would be. But in terms of gameplay, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Mario doesn't have to like go record 15 million realistic gunshot and helicopters and do fucking crazy ass mocap and facial fucking capture and all this bullshit. But it's, in my opinion, it's more of a game than Call of Duty is. It's more of a, it's more elite of a game because it has more mechanics, it has more gameplay. It's more of a game. Right? Am I tripping? I don't know. You probably disagree with me. I don't give a fuck. At me, son. I don't, you know, whatever. Yeah. Death of AAA. AAA doesn't mean shit. AAA don't mean shit because now anybody can get Unreal Engine. You know what I mean? Teach themselves Blender or whatever the fuck to make their models and teach themselves all the things they need to do. and be able to release AAA level content with a very small studio without a AAA budget. So what does AAA even fucking mean anymore? If it's not graphics, what is it? You know what I mean? I'm all for it. Fuck AAA. Wouldn't it be great if you could be 5 people who have a really great idea and can execute that idea at a quote unquote AAA level and make your bucks, as opposed to having to be this giant part of this giant machine that is basically consuming itself at all times, is basically making itself broke at all times, desperately trying to keep up. I guess that goes across all gaming though, so that's not unique to the AAA space. You're always, a month away from closing your doors, basically. But AAA is just, the stakes are way higher. Maybe I'll call this episode The Death of AAA. Yeah, maybe that's a good title for it. Anyway, this is Greasy Says. Hey, this is a podcast, a very rare podcast these days, about what it's like being me, Greasy, in the gaming industry, and my thoughts on it, like I just spewed right there. I don't know, man. I've made AAA games, quote unquote AAA games, and some very not AAA games. And as a developer, I don't know, which one do I like more? Which one do I like more? As a dev, sometimes AAA can be, a lot of people talk about the stress of AAA and the crunching and all that stuff. But AAA can also be very straightforward. You know what I mean? You don't have to wear many hats. You don't have to be a hustler. You can kind of just sit back and be like, especially if you have people above you, they're just like, hey, we have to do this thing, and you just execute. That can be kind of rewarding and mentally safe, mentally not stressful, because you're just like, okay, I need to do this thing. I'm just task based. Just give me tasks. When you're not doing AAA, when you're doing more indie stuff, you kind of have to be everything. You know what I mean? You have to think of everything, or you have to come up with the solution on your own. You have to be a producer. You have to be a creative director. You have to be an implementer. You have to be content. You have to be, did I say producer? Yeah, I said producer. It's just, you have to wear more hats, which can be more stressful. It can be more rewarding because you feel like you have real control over this product or whatever. But it could be also emotionally draining. And stressful, because if shit goes awry, whose fault is it? Yours. There's very few people to blame. I don't know, hit me up, Greasy Says, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or greasysays@gmail.com. If you're a dev, let me know which one you prefer and why. You prefer being on AAA shit, working on AAA shit, or you prefer to work on smaller, quote unquote non-AAA, sub-A experiences, and why? I've had some people hit me up recently. It's happening more and more, y'all. It's really funny because I'm sort of self-deprecating, if you couldn't tell from any other Greasy Says episode. I'm pretty self-deprecating. I don't think my opinion is all that important. I do, but I also get it if people are like, yeah, whatever. And more and more people who are trying to break in, or younger heads, have been hitting me up and just asking me for feedback on their stuff. And it keeps blowing my mind that people take my advice and think it's useful. You know what I mean? But then it's weird how I found myself in this situation. Because it's true. I've been doing this long enough that I see things that, younger guns can't see. You know what I mean? Or hear things that they can't hear. Like, it might be a real quick thing from just working on games for a long time that I'm like, oh yeah, you forgot to do this one thing. And they'll be like, oh shit. Really? Like, I never even thought of that. It's wild. I guess I do know what I'm talking about. And for a self-deprecating person who has self-esteem issues, that's a hard thing to grasp. That's a hard thing to come to terms with. It feels cocky to me. For some people, it's effortless, man. But not for me. But, yeah, I've been trying to help people out and give people really honest advice and critique on their stuff. Not harsh, you know what I mean? But just honest and quick and straight to the point. And I think people appreciate it. I've been trying that more these days, of this very, very direct feedback. Without mincing words and without being overly cautious about my feedback, and being willing to have a conversation when somebody doesn't agree with the feedback. I think it's better that way, man. I wish more people had done that for me on the way up. I think maybe some people did, and I wasn't ready to hear it, because I'm not gonna lie, I got a thing for people telling me what to do. I don't do well with that. If you tell me to do some shit, I'm gonna probably try to do the opposite, just to fucking defy you. I don't know what that is. Don't ask me what that is. That's some fucking childhood shit. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. But I want to buck whatever the fuck you saying. Even if you might be right. I'm surprised more young devs and more people trying to break in aren't like that. The people I'm running into aren't like that. Maybe they say it behind the scenes and they're like, fuck this motherfucker. But it seems like they're really open and receptive to feedback. And that is a great thing, man. Is that how all younger folks are? 'Cause I don't know. I mean, I know my kid, and like I'm beginning to see the younger generation because he's growing up in it. But are younger people these days just mad open to feedback and like cool with it? And how did that happen? They have no opinionated ass. They've definitely got to be strong-willed, stubborn-ass people, young people out there, right? Or no? I don't know. Quick dump on what I've been playing.
What you play, what you play, what you play, what you playing, what are you playing?
What you playing?
I played Death's Door. Did I talk about that already? I don't know. But it was like the crow running around killing shit. That was fun. Didn't finish it. Feel bad about that. I haven't picked it up since. Still playing They Are Billions, which is great fun. Man, I feel like I don't have anything new. Oh, Helldivers 2. I've been playing that. Playing some Helldivers 2. It's dope. It's really freaking dope for a smaller studio. Again, we back to the AAA thing. That, in my opinion, as a AAA game, it even has less jack than some AAA games. It have way less jack than a Bethesda game. I know it's different systems, it's more complicated, it's narrative. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Helldivers is mad fun. I'm definitely not the first person to say that. It's a fucking huge hit. It's a smash hit. It's a sleeper hit. I want to know how the hell they turned that around. How did they go from isometric top-down? Did they plan that? Or did they make Helldivers 2 top-down and then they were like, all right, we need more? Or they had a plan from the very beginning to be like, we're going to release this first. See if it hits. Take that shit and turn it into a third-person shooter. Behind the back. Third-person shooter. What was the background on that, man? But yeah, it's dope. It's dope. The humor in it is fantastic. The soundtrack is really good. They nailed that Starship Trooper kind of vibe with the music. That That's actually a large part of the appeal and the setting of the mood of that game is the music. If you had scored that game a different way, it would not feel like Starship Troopers at all. So props to whoever wrote the music. I should look that up. Whoever wrote the music, let me know. Hit me up if you know who wrote the music for Helldivers 2. Because they nailed it. The stratagem stuff, where you have to call in your things or whatever, while you're still playing, is such a great mechanic. Because it works. It's a great mechanic, but it's also a mechanic that exposes the weakness of mouse and keyboard, because it's almost impossible to play and call in stratagems at the same time on a mouse and keyboard. On a controller, it's fine because you can still run, look, and punch in codes with your thumbs. On a keyboard, it's impossible. I played with a homie who's on a keyboard, and his shit sucks. Anytime there's reinforcements needed, it takes fucking like forever because they gotta run, hide behind a rock, fuck up the input, run again, stop, try to call it in. It's like, it's impossible. I don't know why they keep playing like that, but it doesn't make any sense. You can't play Helldivers with a fucking mouse and keyboard. It's impossible. I don't know if you can do it. Props to you. You must have some crazy macro setup or something like that. But I wouldn't do it. I was talking to my barber. Shout out to my barber about Helldivers. And here's my prediction. Because we were like, yo, you know, how did they anticipate this being such a big hit? The next one is going to be crazy. Should they release it sooner, later? He was saying he doesn't think they should release it too soon, right? And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, Helldivers is such a big hit now. The big move is like, just release DLC and like update content for 2 forever, for a long fucking time, for at least 4 or 5 years, right? The player base will be there for sure. Then you hold out. You make Helldivers 3, but you make it exclusive for one of the new consoles. It's either like exclusive to PS5 or PS6 or whatever, or exclusive to, I got to talk about the new Xbox, or what I think is going to happen there. Yeah, the new Xbox. That would be a dope move. That would be a dope move. You give them exclusive for like a year, 6 months even, right? On one of the consoles, and then you bring it everywhere else, PC, blah, 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 blah. That's what they should do. That's what that company should do. For real. They should be like working on that deal now. Like,
listen, we gonna drop Helldivers 3 exclusive to your platform. How much money you got? Oh, that's not enough. Come back when it's better.
you know what I mean? Baller ass shit. They should be doing that. I would do that. But yeah, Helldivers 2, crazy. Crazy. Surprisingly good with randoms. Every time I play with randoms, I have a great time. We don't even talk. We just drop markers. Something, 600 meters. To the east, far. You know what I mean? That's all you need to say. Yeah, but I've been playing, like, when you play with a high-level person, like a level 50 person, it's glorious. They just take you along for the ride, man. I can't play on shit, like, with the homies, with the small crew, private. I can't fucking play past medium difficulty. Yeah, laugh it up. Laugh it up. We are not a good team. Straight up and down. I'll be real. I'm part of the problem. I'm accidentally killing motherfuckers. I'm cooking grenades too long, blowing up. It is a slapstick comedy watching us play. It's a fucking mess. So we can't play past medium. But I played on like challenging with some badass motherfuckers, and it's like, I could literally just run around and throw grenades inside a hive nest and not do anything else because they're gonna take care of me. It's crazy. What difficulty do y'all play on? Right? How do you play past medium if you're just playing with the homies? Do you play with randoms? I'm sure most of y'all are playing with randoms. And with the crossplay too, yeah, man, it's good. It's good shit. It's a good game. It's a really good game. It might be the sleeper hit of the year. Definitely so far, right? There's nothing. Nothing, man. What's out there? What's the big Skull and Bones was like the last quad A game to come out? Anything? No. Helldivers 2 has a crown right now. Yeah. Check it out if you haven't, but you probably have. Y'all, I'm so ready for Frostpunk 2. It's coming soon. I can't wait. Most anticipated game of the year. Most anticipated game of the year. Second, that Harold game, the one with the stop motion animation, where motherfuckers built the puppets, built the shit out of clay, and then captured it and animated it in. Y'all, what is it called? It has a terrible name that is so forgettable. Harold's. What the fuck is that shit called, man? Harold's. I gotta look it up, y'all. Harold Halibut. Such an English name. Oh my god. Yeah, I can't wait for this game. It'll probably be pretty basic. Point and click style. I'm assuming point and click style adventure. But just to witness the work that they put in, the beauty, I can't wait. Yet another game that is technically AAA when you think about the presentation. The motherfuckers built clay models for their in-game models, yo. Like, that's AAA type shit. That's a crazy production feat. But Harold Halibut is not considered a AAA game. Makes no sense. Makes zero fucking sense. But yeah, I'm psyched for that one. What else am I psyched for? I don't know. Let me think. Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm psyched for older games that are already out. I gotta play Sifu. That shit look rad. I gotta play Ratchet and Clank because I hear it's really good. I got a list going, yo. Like, let's see, wish list me, yo. Like, what the fuck? Oh, I still haven't played Psychonauts 2, which is blasphemous. Can't believe that's happened. I've gone on this long. How old is that game now? 2 years old or something? Yeah, I'm a mess. I gotta play Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, so I got a backlog. And I just got what you call it? Titanfall 2. Crazy throwback. But I hear the single player in that is really fucking good. Am I right? Have you played Titanfall 2 single player? I care about the multiplayer less than 0%. I'm just looking for a good single player first person shooter. And this one seems pretty AAA. Yeah. Anyway, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the very spaced out Greasy Says. Appreciate y'all for listening. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Thanks for coming out. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback. Tell me to go fuck myself. And until next time, it's me, Greasy, and I'm checking out with the room key. All right, later.